Hey everyone, how have you been? It's been a while since I've been on here. Thought I'd take some time and put together a new video here real quick, and maybe just give you a few updates on what's been going on in my life and the reason why I have been absent here as of late. You may recall, if you've seen one of my previous videos, I talked about how I had been cut from full-time to part-time. Well, the things just went downhill from there. As if that wasn't bad enough, they decided to add insult to injury, and they laid me off. So now I'm completely without a job. And I've been doing the best I can, trying to find something else, and good God, it does not bring up good memories, because I went through the same story 5 years ago when I went to work for the company that I am now unemployed from. It's just hard to find a job out there, and it seems like it's even harder now than it was then. And you know, it's coming down to the presidential election time, and these commercials just keep showing up on television. I keep seeing commercial one right after another for Obama, stating how it's really propaganda is all it is to me, stating how he's trying to make the case for it's better now than it was 4 years ago when he came into office, and I swear to God, I do not see it. I do not see how it is better. The national debt's higher than it was then. I still don't see the jobs that they're talking about creating. I don't see it anywhere. I read an article the other day online that stated where there were jobs added to the, to the country or whatever, but the thing of it was, the average pay for all of them was like $7 an hour. My God, how can you live off of that? I mean, that's what, just barely minimum wage in some places, I guess? I mean, for somebody like me who's got bills to pay and things like that, and, I have a life, it's ridiculous. But anyway, I'm not going to go off on a political rant. I'm just sick to death of all this politicking that's been going on as of late. Anyway, I'm here today to talk about the handgun that you see there on the screen. It's probably my favorite handgun that I own. It's a Smith & Wesson Model 19. It's a -5 series for y'all who knows what that's all about. Smith & Wesson, with their handguns, they have different dashes. Usually, let's say it's a Model 29-2. That means it's a Model 29 44 Magnum. The -2 indicates, something that they changed in the production of it. They changed this, changed that, and whenever they do that, they usually add a dash and then a higher number. As I say, this is a -5. I believe this one dates from the early 80s, or probably about 1984. The reason I say that, after going online and looking at some serial numbers and stuff like that, I've got it kind of narrowed down to about 1984. It may be a year after, a year before. I'm not really sure which. I never have sent off to Smith & Wesson to get the actual production date on it, which you can do, by the way. They have a form you can fill out on their website. You can print it off and write in all the information and mail it to them, and they'll mail you back the history of your particular firearm. Anyway, I think it's about 1984, which makes the gun about as old as I am, which is really special to me. Me and the gun are about the same age. And I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm never getting rid of this gun. I may trade one here or there and get something else, but this one is staying with me until the day I die, and it will get passed on through the family. This gun, it just, to me, it symbolizes what Smith & Wesson used to be, which was a company that made fine production, great quality handguns all the way across their board. This is just a regular production item, or it was when it was new in the 80s. And the fit and finish on it is just outstanding. The action is so good on it. It's just incredible. And I mean, I'm not taking anything away from modern Smiths. They are fine, fine handguns. I own one, as you've seen in another video of mine, the 686. But to me, it's just nowhere near on the level of this thing. Now, I do have a friend, he just bought a new, I think it's a 627 V-Comp from the Performance Center at Smith. That gun, to me, is on the quality level of the one you see in front of you here. But he had to pay a lot of money for that. And again, it's not a regular production item. It came from their Performance Center. And, yeah, that's a pretty sweet handgun, too. Maybe we can get a side-by-side comparison one day in a video if he ever can get around to doing anything. But anyway, let me see if I can get you some close-ups here of this thing. These are the original wooden grips that came on it. They're just these checkered, oh gosh, what do you call these? Are they called combat grips? Or I think either these are the combat grips or the finger groove ones are, or maybe they both are. I'm not sure. Excuse me. But anyway, as I say, these are original to the gun. And they have that, you know, that wide butt on it here, and it kind of tapers off to being a little more narrow at the top, and like things of that sort. But anyway, this one here has a couple of little upgrades to it. They weren't done by me; they were on the gun whenever I bought it. Number one being the wide target style trigger and hammer on the top, and I'm told by the guy that sold this to me that it came out of an estate sale in Virginia, and I guess that the owner there decided he wanted that put on there, because I don't think this left the factory that way. I believe it was probably done by a gunsmith using Smith & Wesson parts. But anyway, it holds 6 shots, as you can see there. This is a -5. Earlier models, I think the -4s, 3s, and 2s, and the no-dash ones had the recessed cylinders, which meant that whenever you put a bullet into the, I don't have one handy, but when you put a bullet into the cylinder here, the bullet would actually sit flush with the cylinder. On mine here, whenever you put it in, the bullet will stick up just a little bit right there, just the rim of it. That doesn't really matter to me. Sure, it would have been nice to have a pin and recess model, but hey, this one came along, and you know, I knew I had to grab it because of the condition alone it was in. It's in fine condition, and it had a pin barrel, the older ones, which meant that when they screw the barrel into the frame, they also put a pin through it about where my finger is right there that goes all the way through. You know, I guess it was just kind of like an extra precaution to keep the barrel from ever trying to come out, although I've never heard of one actually doing that. But anyway, that's just something that they used to do. This one here is a 4-inch barrel. I think they came in lengths of 2.5, 4-inch, 6, and 8 and 3/8, or somewhere around there. Yeah, I think it's somewhere around there. Again, if I'm wrong, just correct me, and I'll be happy to take that piece of information. This one here has the ramp front sight with the little red insert. You know, that's classic Smith & Wesson, and they've been known for doing that for a really long time. The roll marks on it, as you can see, are just really, really nice. On the top of it here, it has checkering and that matte finish on there where it's kind of, I don't know if that's bead blasted or if that's done a certain way. Anyway, that really helps with making this pistol more accurate because it cuts down on glare that you may have on the top of the gun whenever you try to fire it. And I can promise you this thing is extremely accurate. Matter of fact, whenever I went and did my concealed weapons class, the range portion of it, this is the gun I used. I did not carry a Glock with me. I didn't carry a 1911. This is what I took, and I had a perfect score. All of my shots were, and this is no lie, I wish I could find it. I know I've got it somewhere around here, the target, but all my shots were in an area, no lie, this big, and that was from all different, you know, all the different distances that you have to fire from. We'll flip it around to this side. You can see here, I mean, just the bluing is excellent. There may be a little bit of greasiness and fingerprints on there. I just got through oiling this thing up because it's been sitting in a while in its case, and you know, I just like to keep things lubricated because oil will evaporate and dry out. On this side, let's see if it can come to focus. Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum. I mean, it's got a few little nicks and marks on it and stuff like that. One of the best revolvers that money could buy. This thing, it competed directly with probably, a lot of people disagree with what I'm fixing to say, but I believe it's true. This gun competed with what is probably the best revolver ever made, and that's the Colt Python. And I've had the chance to handle a couple of Pythons. I've never fired one, and I've never owned one. I just want to make that point very clear. Hopefully I will get one day. But anyway, to me, the Colts, their action jobs that they put on there are just second to none. This is as close as I think you could possibly get. Maybe if you did a little bit of gunsmithing and some trigger and some action work on this one, it could be on par with that. But let me tell you, this is just so close to it. And the thing of it is, when the Colts were new, they were very expensive then. You think they're expensive now, they were expensive even way back then. So for the money you paid for this at the same time, this was a real bargain. For you know, getting something that's almost on par with the Python. And you know, I'm 28 years old, and you know, a lot of guys in my age group, they're attracted to semi-auto, the Polymer Wonders, you know, Glocks, Springfields, M&Ps, that sort of thing. My friend I was just telling you about, who has the 627 V-Comp, he's one of those guys. I mean, he's one of my best friends, but let me tell you, if something looks, you know, futuristic or, you know, out of the ordinary, he just gravitates toward that. Me, on the other hand, I guess I was just born 30 years too late, because something like this that's what gets my motor going. I love these old, you know, vintage pistols, rifles, shotguns, that sort of stuff. It's just my thing. And you know, to anyone who says that you're limited with this gun right here, that you're really kind of outclassed, I say, you don't know what you're talking about. This is really not something that you want to think about carrying. I mean, it can be done. I don't want to carry this concealed, but, you know, if you want to keep this inside your nightstand when you go to bed at night, you could certainly do a lot worse. Take this thing, put some really hot 357 hollow points in there, 6 shots, and yeah, you can do some really good damage with that. The 357 is probably the most versatile handgun ever made. Not only can you fire really hot 357s, and by the way, the 357 has taken, I think, I could be wrong on this, I think the 357 has taken just about every large game animal there is on the North American continent. So you've got something that's as powerful as that, but yet if you want to just go plinking with it, go target practice shooting, put some really cheap 38 specials in there. And you can shoot, you know, a box of those for what? Gosh, what are they going for now? $16, $17, I think, at Walmart. The really cheap stuff. So, yeah, I mean, the versatility of a 357 Magnum is just unbelievable. And that's why I tell people that are thinking about buying a revolver, I say, how can you go wrong with a 357 just because of its versatility alone? I just don't know if there's anything else that's ever come close to it. I really don't. But anyway, guys, that's about all I can think to say about it. I mean, again, it's just a fine piece, and if you ever get a chance to come across one, I say if you're even thinking about it, don't hesitate to do it. Not only is the 19 a good choice, but they've also made a stainless steel version of this. That's the Model 66. They made the Model 19 itself in blued and nickel finishes, so I mean, it's just your cup of tea, whichever one you like. I mean, I like blued ones. I'm not really much of a nickel-plated guy. I do like the stainless steel Model 66s, though, and I wish I could find one of those, particularly a 2.5-inch barrel one of the little snubbies. I've always liked those things. They just put you in mind of all those 70s and 80s cop and detective movies and TV shows, things like that. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. As I say, I mean, I do have more free time now that I'm with the ranks of the other unemployed people of this nation. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. So I may be making some more videos as time goes on. Now that I've got a little bit more free time, but at the same time, I've also got to use that to find a new job, and got to try to get some money rolling in here. Thankfully, I have been able to save up some over the last few years, so I'm not destitute yet, but I'm fast approaching that way if I'm not careful. Nah, it's not that bad. Anyway, guys, oh, how do you like this? Vintage Winchester Super X rifle ammo. That's 270 Winchester, 130 grain for my rifle. Maybe I'll do a video on that. What about that? $14.95. That probably puts that in, oh gosh, when was that? Maybe the late 90s, somewhere in there. Anyway, guys, I'm rambling now, so it's probably a good time to wrap it up. Anyway, y'all have a good one.